So was El Muerto just not happening anymore? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to John Dudley Speaks. I'm your host, The Wolf. Benito Antonio Martinez Acacio, commonly referred to worldwide as Bad Bunny, has been making music from the very early age of just 14, and he even got in on some of the SoundCloud craze of the 2010s, eventually leading to a collaboration on Karol G's Aura Me Llama. But similar to J Balvin at the time, nobody really knew how big reggaeton was going to be in the late 2010s into the early 2020s. A feature on Cardi B's I Like It, as well as a hit single with Drake, granted Bad Bunny's significant spots on the Billboard Hot 100, and his debut record Por Siempre was met with rave reviews. And to me, it's a pitch-perfect example of his fusion of Latin trap and modern pop tropes. After a joint effort from him and J Balvin, 2020 proved to be a massive year for Bad Bunny, where he dropped Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana and El Último Tour del Mundo, with the former providing traditional reggaeton smashes, as well as long-winded genre experiments, while the latter indulged in slick alt-rock and emo, as well as his tried-and-true trap formula. It seemed like this was a peak for him, but he was just getting started, as 2022's Un Verano Sin Ti turned out to be one of the best performing albums of all time, and it's one that lives up to the hype, churning out bangers like Titi Me Preguntó that square up against his takes on mambo and house. Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va a Pasar Mañana came the next year, and it was his first true miss for me, hitting the Jersey club aesthetic in a little too derivative of a fashion, while not clicking as much on the melodic nature of his past hits. So now with DEBÍ Tirar Más Fotos, where does Bad Bunny go? Does he swing further into something unfamiliar, or does he move back towards a style and sound that he knows that he can do well? To be fair, he splits the difference, kicking off this year with his most unapologetic work yet. The authentic dembow influences on the opening track Nueva Yol, along with its tresillo rhythmic origins, artistically state where Bad Bunny is going with this right away, and it's nothing short of dynamic. The racing percussion, the reverb on the backing vocals, and the pulsing backbeat are such a grand introduction instrumentally that punctuate this record with urgency. Other portions of the record that indulge in this stylistic focus are Vueltita, as well as the dramatic, tense Pitoro de Coco. Conversely, the sparkling dance pop synths of Voy a Llevarte Pa Piar, as well as the vibe-heavy, The Weeknd influenced mood setting of Baile Inolvidable, which are underlined with authoritative drums as well as sweeping horns. And that's a mix that PERFuMITO NUEVO subverts, utilizing an apocalyptic industrial EDM pop that's atmospheric and bold in its stadium-size appeal. The run of KETU TeCRÉ and KLOuFRENS adopts a similar formula, sparsely inviting mainstream reggaeton into the mix, but still favoring synthetic-driven future-forward production, which is founded on the back of his producer suite's penchant for melding innovation and tradition. Because of that, songs towards the back end push that abrasiveness to the brink, while dial-back reggaeton balladry shows the talent that Bad Bunny has in having an ear for musical palettes that are diametrically opposed to each other, but still complement each other. Though the title of its lead single, El Club, might suggest that Bad Bunny is aiming for another supersized smash hit of a party record, we have to reference the title of this record to truly understand his worldview and perspective on this one. Translating to I should have taken more photos, there's a sense of reflection in Bad Bunny's lyricism here that's lovelorn and reminiscent, and El Club is just a microcosm of that, speaking to the haunting feelings of regret and anxiety following the dissolution of a relationship. Baile Inolvidable pulls on these threads as well, detailing how these expectations of a future with this person didn't come to fruition, while also being grateful for the lessons that this romance taught him. It's not all doom and gloom, as PERFuMITO Nuevo, Nueva Yol, and Velda are huge party tracks that definitely play into Bad Bunny's strengths at setting a vibe, but when it's set beside the desperation found in KLOuFRENS, a lot of it comes off as forced in a good way, as if he knows we know how vacuous this breakup left his heart. The juxtaposition doesn't always work, and some of the motifs are repeated a little bit too much, but the title track wraps up these ideas in a neat little bow that's heartbreaking in its clarity and bearing of emotions. Most Bad Bunny records have an energetic performance from him that's full of personality and endurance, but at times his breath control can be distracting and choppy, especially in his early work. I'm happy to say that DEBÍ Tirar Más Fotos avoids issues like that, as Bad Bunny's far more meditative, utilizing a spoken word format in some spots to stay focused on aesthetic and presentation. KETU TeCRÉ offers this kind of ruminative mic presence, where the moments where Bad Bunny needs to ramp up exuberance, he delivers, like on El Club and PERFuMITO Nuevo. But this only works because of Bad Bunny's patience as a vocalist, allowing each instrumental to breathe without overwhelming it with long-winded flows, instead of replacing them with melodic runs that are vulnerable and soothing. That's why a closer like La Mudanza works so well, because he injects so much character into the spoken word, then is able to toe the line between high energy and catchy melodies, finding a balance in his performance more than he ever has before. slightly over an hour, this is Bad Bunny's shortest record in over 4 years. And while it does have its moments where it hits a snag in pacing, especially in the mid to latter end of the record, his common problem of filler and padding is non-existent here. Right away, the Hibaro influences from his Puerto Rican origins are deeply represented, and they're treated with seriousness, setting a strong tone from Nueva York through El Club, through a constant fusion of old and new. KETU TeCRÉ through KLOuFRENS slides us back into something more contemplative, but Café Con Ron excitingly plays with energy and style to gear us up for some of his more surprising things down the line in this track listing, especially the title track. La Mudanza brilliantly ties up all loose ends both thematically and musically, with a tenderness and relatability that I feel often evades Bad Bunny's music, so by the time we wrap up, we're left with a pleasant listening experience that's full of growth that's admirable and surprising.
Pensaba que contigo iba a envejecer.
I really enjoyed this project, and I think it's one of Bad Bunny's most fascinating and honest records yet, and it speaks to the kind of artist that he wants to be without lessening his global mainstream appeal. And it's just so uplifting and fun, there's no way that these rhythms don't move you in one way or another. But hey, that's just my perspective. If you're a Bad Bunny fan, he's got another smash hit on his hands that might be one of his best. And if you're in search of authentically written reggaeton that invites some club-ready tinges of industrialism and electronic, you're gonna want to check this out. Alright, that's all I got. Bye!